What a beautiful backdrop to a motor race. We're here in the Styrian Mountains, of course, and they've watched over some cracking races throughout the history of this Grand Prix. Controversy, of course, think back to 2002, but also great joy. Do you remember Niki Lauda's historic home victory in 1984? Nico Rosberg will start his silver arrow from pole position, and P2 goes to Daniel Ricciardo, a strong showing from the Australian. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Bottas, Sebastian Vettel, and Hamilton.
Hello guys and welcome
Fiat,
to another F1
Magnussen,
episode.
Grosjean,
We are starting
Renault,
from
and
17th
Esteban
on the
Gutierrez.
grid after disappointing qualifying, but we're set to try and put that behind us with a good race here, as we have an excellent start and straight away fly past Grosjean with that start. And, well, we would have Magnussen, but the yellow flag forces us to give up the position, but not for long, and we break into that corner, past Sainz and several other cars, and we're into P12 now, chasing down Jensen Button, or Jensen, however you pronounce it. It's one of those ones, I've always sort of said a bit of both. And anyway, we go into this corner, we take Hulkenberg and a couple of other cars as well, and we're up into P10. And Raikkonen's looking on Perez. Oh, looks like there's contact there. Perez, and oh my goodness. We were really close there to be taken out by Perez's car there. And the replay's showing us we get past these cars. And look at that, Kimi Raikkonen just taking out Perez, and we're very lucky to avoid being collected by him. Either way, we get revenge for Perez's misfortune, and we overtake Raikkonen. Hulkenberg also obviously overtaking his teammate. Raikkonen sucked into that battle as well. We are up into P8, so we've nearly made 10 places in the first lap, which is quite extraordinary. We're going to go back from Richfield standard after a pretty crazy first lap. Bit loss of traction through there. Luckily it doesn't cost us too much time. And as we finish the first lap, as I said, we've made 9 places, and we're now closing in on Massa. We might be able to get him into this first corner if we get a good exit. Obviously brave on the brakes. We are, as always, brave on the brakes. Not brave enough for that. He's just too far ahead. Raikkonen also still within breathing distance of us, so we have to be wary for that. No DRS obviously till lap 3. We're getting closer and closer to Massa through the slipstream. Fastest first sector for us, and we get the move just about done. And Massa's now sucked into the battle with Raikkonen, who and yeah, we get a replay of this overtake now. As you can see, just brake later, get a better line, force Massa wide, and we are now in P7. And just behind us we have the first retirement of the race, and it is Carlos Sainz with an engine failure. As you can see here, no safety car, just a virtual safety car for that retirement. And as you can see, as the safety car's ending, I'm very cheeky because I know it's ending, and pretty much go right up behind Vettel and then overtake him, which is, you know, if this was real life, I would have to give that position back, and I'd probably be absolutely annihilated and ripped into by the world of social media for that. That was pretty naughty of me, but either way, who cares? It's a racing game, and I'm into P6. Make that P5 as I go late on the brakes with Hamilton. We touch wheels, but I just about hold the position, and we are now into P5 as we go into the final sector of lap 3. We're not too confident coming out this corner though. We seem to lose a lot of speed recently. Traction hasn't been great in our car. Looks very cloudy ahead, and rain is forecasted very soon. Hamilton almost shunting the back of us, he's that close to us, and yeah, we've got a bad exit there, and Hamilton is now ahead of us. We're going to have DRS though here as we go for the overtake on Hamilton with DRS, and we are up back again into P5. We get that position back. Hamilton in front of us, not for long in the end, and now we look to chase down Valtteri Bottas. As we see a replay there, just a simple manoeuvre with DRS on the pit straight, and just nice and easy into that first corner, and looking at Bottas in the distance. And our engineer is now starting to recommend that we go on to intermediates. As you can see, there's light rain there. It doesn't look like it's settling on the track too far, but it's certainly getting very difficult, especially on the ultra soft tyre, which has the less grip anyway. And I take the opportunity to ask for a weather report to see how long the rain will last, and he says 15 minutes, so it will be certainly long enough, a decent stint anyway for this race as we go into the pits to change for intermediates. I know, pretty much the same time as everyone else, so we don't particularly gain or lose anything really. I mean, there are only the cars that are still out there are mainly cars that haven't come into the pits because their teammate has in front of them, and but no, this is a pretty good position to come out in. You know, P8 just ahead of Button, and we look for Gutierrez ahead of us, who's on ultra softs, so he must be really struggling for grip and pace in this wet weather conditions, well, intermediate conditions should I say. And although we go quite deep there, look how slow Gutierrez is. We're catching him ridiculously fast. We switch onto rich fuel and engine mode as we look to you know, turn what was a crap qualifying session into a very good race, and it's turning that way so far. Turning out that way, sorry. And as you can see, easily get past Gutierrez, so much more pace. See replay, and that is the difference in intermediate conditions of the intermediate tyre and the ultra soft tyre. Just no problem whatsoever for us as we go round and take that position into P7, and that's now P6. We go a little too close to Alonso there, a little bit risky there from us. But either way, we're into P6 as Alonso takes the line to go into the pits. Looks like one other car is pitting. Looks like Verstappen just changed for Inters, and we're going to come out ahead of him. Ahead of us is Ricciardo, so we're now into P4. So this rain has really helped us. Obviously, we've gained a position from switching to the intermediate tyre when we did, because when we came in we were in P5, remember, as we do fastest first sector through there, and yeah, we're now looking to chase down Ricciardo with Verstappen behind us in 5th place. Rosberg still leads this race. He's led this race pretty comfortably. There's a big gap between 2nd and 1st at this point, as we do another fastest first sector. And we are gradually getting closer to Ricciardo, who's in that obviously final podium spot. And I'm not sure who's ahead of him. I do believe it is Valtteri Bottas for the Williams, doing an excellent job there. Currently 2nd, but Ricciardo's very close to him, and looks like he could get a move done in the next few corners. Obviously DRS now disabled in this weather, so it will just be the slipstream. The slipstream is insanely powerful on this game. Ricciardo hoping to get on the podium in this race. We're going to try and spoil that party if we can. So not long left in this race, and you can see Marcus Ericsson out of the race. Here he is chasing down a Marussia, and it's a big engine failure. Engineer at the time said it was significant, but he gets well out of the way, so no real yellows or anything, doesn't affect us at all. And as you can see, we close massively on Ricciardo on lap 9, and we should be able to get him in the slipstream as we enter lap 10. And we're not far away from Bottas either. As you can see, Rosberg quite a bit down the road from those two. Not too far, to be fair, not too far, but still in control of this race. And as you can see, just relatively easy pass there on Ricciardo, just in the slipstream, and just getting as close as possible, and switching out, going on the inside and getting the move done. And we are now into the final podium position, which is excellent. If we can finish in a podium, we'll be absolutely thrilled, and it could be more in the space of a corner, and it just about is with very aggressive Bottas, and we force him off a bit. It was quite an aggressive manoeuvre. He might not be too happy about that. I don't particularly care. And we're into P2 on lap 10, so in starting 17th, this would be an absolutely brilliant result. I was certainly set up for that. Rosberg, they're not too far up the road, but I think the intermediate period is coming to an end. So, as we nearly lose the back end there, we just about managed to save it. But as I said, yeah, it looks like it's just about spitting now. So, in fact, now it looks like it's stopped raining completely. So, yeah, it's certainly nearly time to go back onto the dry tyre. Where we need to make sure we get the cool right, so that we can hopefully gain an advantage, or at least maintain 2nd place, or at least sort of third or fourth position as we do the fastest lap. As you can see, the tyre wear is starting to get a bit bad, but it's pointless going on to another set of inters. And Ricciardo makes the move on Bottas, so Ricciardo might be getting that podium after all. They're still side by side, to be fair, as we come down to the end of the straight. Bottas temporarily regains the position as we go into this corner. They're still battling out, but Ricciardo just about retains it. Bottas, they're side by side, constantly switching, as you can see there. I need to be careful here because I'm too busy fiddling around with my fuel and tyres, and focusing on that Bottas-Ricciardo battle that keeps going back and forth. But we are going to come in to the pits. It's Michael. It's stopped raining. The track's still pretty wet, but it's drying very quickly. I decided to take the risk with my tyres how they are, and we go into the pits, and we are the first one to go into the pits for the dry tyre from the intermediates, and I expect other people won't come in until the next lap, or maybe even 2 laps time. So this is certainly a gamble, and it has backfired on us before. It did in China, but it also worked wonderfully in Australia, and it's a decent pit stop, and we're going to come out in a decent position as well. Should be able to come out P5, maybe P6. Just if it's going to be P6, it's going to be just behind Kimi Raikkonen, or just in front of him. No, not quite. In front of Button though, in P6, and very close to Raikkonen. We're going to be aggressive in this corner where we made many overtake this afternoon. And actually, we don't brake particularly late. Raikkonen just very cautious on the brakes. And once we've sort of parked our car in that position, we're in an excellent situation there to hold on to the position, and we're into P5, having being the only car on the dry tyre at this point, and it's feeling pretty fast. The engineers recommending me go back to inters, but as you can see, the track and the sky is clearing up, and no, I should be fine for one lap of this before it gets fully dry, and everyone comes into pits because the grip is good on these soft tyres, and as you can see, we're not struggling for pace with Raikkonen suddenly getting up behind us. So as we go round into lap 17, are we going to see anyone else pits? Let's see. And yes, we do have at least one car that's behind Raikkonen, so I presume that's Button coming into pit for the dry tyres. Be interesting to see what other cars ahead. I think the rest will go for the next lap, but you can see now the pace, the grip, it's starting to become ideal for the soft tyres. We do the fastest first sector into lap 17 as we look to chase down Verstappen, still on the intermediate. Likewise Raikkonen. I don't think there are many cars still at this point on the dry tyre, but this is now a pretty much dry track. There's some damp parts through just before the final sector here, but apart from that, it's pretty much all dry. We're doing PB sectors through there, sector 2, go a bit wide through there, but regardless, you can see we've got the gap for Raikkonen. Now is definitely the time to pit if you haven't already, and you can see some cars are doing that ahead of us, and I think that's all the 4 ahead of us in the pits. Don't think we'll come out ahead of too many of them, but as you can see there, at least 2. We go past Bottas and not Ricciardo. Yes, it is. We do come out in front of Ricciardo. Our teammate goes into the pits. Rosberg is ahead of us. He's essentially P1, I do believe, unless... So someone must be on the intermediates still in P1, who's going to get overtaken very quickly. But that is Pascal Wehrlein ahead of us. I think Rosberg is further up the road. Yes, there he is. And he'll soon be in P1. And now in the dry, we're chasing down Rosberg, but that lead is still significant. But about 3-4 laps later, I see a yellow flag in the middle sector on this straight, and the racing gods are on our side because Nico Rosberg is out of this race, which means I'm in the lead. Not only that, is I'm worrying here at this point of, you know, my tyre wear's not great anyway, but actually a safety car is deployed, so I decided, look, I'm going to go for this on my box. Should be able to come out in at least second, third, because of the safety car, obviously. So I'm going to switch from the softs to a set of super softs, be on fresh super soft tyres. The rest of the field, no one else goes into the pit, so this is just pretty much me going for the race win, taking this gamble, rather than trying to go to the end on those soft tyres, because I'm not great once the tyres start to go. I'm not too good with them. I struggle not pushing as hard as I usually do. I just can't do that. I just race like I do, no matter what the tyre wear is. It's just the fault of mine, this game. But as you can see, we come out in P3. The safety car period lasted about 3 or 4 laps. I think it was 3 laps, but yeah, straight away, lap 28, we begin racing once again. And as you can see, our tyres will comfortably get to the end of this race. And we might be able to, straight away on the safety car, restart on the first corner, go to Bottas, and there's contact. No damage for us. I'm not sure about Bottas though, and he's under pressure from someone behind him. Can't see what car. Ricciardo leads this race though, because obviously of us pitting, and so he will be significantly slower as we see that the final replay of that incident, and we chase down Ricciardo. Yeah, as I said, on the older soft tyre, and yeah, we're on fresh super softs. Luckily, no damage from that risky move on Bottas. And Ricciardo's definitely going to get a podium, but it's whether he can hang on to that first place. We've got plenty of fuel, so we can turn the engine up. The gap ahead, he's just outside the DRS zone at this point. But lap 29 going into 30, we should be able to get him very, very soon and get into the lead of this race. And as I said, the tyres will comfortably get to the end. Ricciardo's tyres will, but they'll be absolutely knackered. And they're probably already off the edge, over the edge at this point, off the tyre cliff. And we go slightly wide there, which leaves us some time, which is frustrating, which probably costs us about another lap of being behind Ricciardo, just trying to get up and up, closer to him. So we go into lap 13, it's PB lap time for me, as you can see. For some reason it's saying just unnecessary information from engineers. So focus on catching him, and a lap later we do make the overtake on the second DRS zone, and the nice helicopter view of us making that move stick. We do touch the grass slightly there, but either way we do make the move stick into on lap 31 into the lead of this race. Started in 17th. A lot of things have gone our way. You know, we've had to make many overtakes, but also a lot of things have gone our way, especially with the rain, with our tyre gamble, with obviously the Rosberg retirement. We were not catching Rosberg, not with our aging tyres at that point. So, I mean, I do feel bad for Rosberg. He deserved to win this race, but in terms of, you know, he controlled it the whole race until that fateful lap where he has an engine blowout. As we do the fastest first sector, and we start to pull away from Ricciardo, who's still staying with us pretty well at this point, considering he's on older soft tyres. But we should now be able to bring this home. We just got to make sure we don't make any silly mistakes. It's going to be clear weather to the end, and this could be our second win of the Grand Prix season. And with Hamilton far down the field, Rosberg out the race, this might make it interesting for the championship actually as well. We might actually be back in the championship race as we go round the corner into the leads into the final sector of the Austrian Grand Prix, this chicane here, for the penultimate time, and now we do it for the last time from the helicopter view. As you can see there, getting better at that corner slightly, only the last lap, but you know, and go into the final sector for the final time to complete a final lap. And you can see Ricciardo's actually not too far behind us, but he's not nowhere near close enough, and we win the Austrian Grand Prix. Oh
Great
my
win
god,
then
what
for
is
the
wrong
Renault
with his
team
head?
today.
I have no idea.
As we can see, it's
We had an
time
egg
for the
at
podium, and
Renault.
I can see the Renault
But
team
yeah,
underneath our
brilliant
commentary
win.
box
As you can see, we
going
celebrated
crazy
2
as
Red
their
Bulls on the
drivers
podium.
walk out.
Max
It was
Verstappen
a great
in the
win,
end,
and it
pipping
means a
Valtteri
great deal
Bottas
to
to
this
that
team.
podium. Might have had something to do with me sort of forcing him off the track at that point, but who cares? I've won the race. I've been 17th, made a lot of overtakes, and yeah, I mean, Austria isn't usually my track, but it was today, and thankfully, bit of luck from the racing gods, but we will take it.
And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. It's a good result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
It's a difficult one, but I'll have to go for the Renault driver. Look at where they finished compared to where they started. It's not easy to cut through the field like that in Formula 1, so it was a great effort.
And now
Well,
let's
thank
take
you
a
very
look at
much,
the
Anthony
constructors'
Davidson. I
standings.
appreciate
It was
that.
a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table. Another team that excelled today was Williams, who make further progress up the table. There'll be plenty more twists and turns to come this season. I hope you can join us at the next race to see just who will come out on top.
Yeah, obviously great race win for us, and that puts us right in the championship race, level on points on Nico Rosberg, and we're in our Renault, only 36 points behind Lewis Hamilton. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please like and subscribe, and hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time, bye.